Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today's recipe is for all of you Hostess cupcake fans. Today we're going to learn how to make very easy keto style, Hostess style ding dong mini cakes. And for those of you who don't know what a ding dong is, it basically is chocolate cake with a cream filling and a chocolate coating on top. Very tasty. And if you want a printable version of this, you can check out my website at janetsdeliciousLowCarbKitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time I put out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some Amazon affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those Amazon affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and will help to support the channel. So anytime you want to purchase anything on Amazon, make sure you remember me, use my affiliate link, and a small portion of your purchase will help to support the channel. And while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Line an 8 by 8 inch cake pan with parchment paper and allow the parchment paper to overhang on the sides because you'll be using these as handles to lift the cake out when it's done baking. In a large mixer bowl, combine 1/4 cup of coconut flour, a 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder, an 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of monk fruit sweetener or granulated sweetener of your choice, and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Sift or whisk these all together until they're fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 2 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they make your batter more smooth. 6 tablespoons of room temperature butter that have been softened. It's okay if they're a little bit melted, but you do want them to be mostly just softened. 2 tablespoons of room temperature milk. Again, make sure this is room temperature. You have a much smoother batter when your ingredients are all room temperature. And a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat these on low for about 10 seconds or just until the dry ingredients have been moistened. Then increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for about another 30 seconds or until everything is fully combined and you have a creamy batter. Scrape down the sides of the bowl if you need to and push all of the batter to the center of the bowl. Scoop the batter into your prepared cake pan and use a spatula or a butter knife or your fingers and smooth the batter evenly throughout the cake pan. Make sure it is as even as you can. You don't want one side to cook before the other. You want it to cook nice and even. Once it's smooth, place it in your preheated oven and bake at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it's slightly darkened around the edges and a tester comes out clean. Once it's done baking, remove it from the oven. It's still going to be a little bit soft, but it will firm up as it cools. Allow it to cool in the pan for at least 30 minutes or until it becomes firm. After 30 minutes, grasp the overhanging parchment paper that's in the cake pan and very carefully lift the cake out of the pan and place it onto a baking sheet. Then place it in your refrigerator and chill it for about 15 minutes. This is just so you can firm up the cake a bit so it won't crumble when you cut it. So for about 15 minutes, just let it get a quick chill. Just before you're ready to take the cake out of your refrigerator, you're going to make the filling. For the filling, in a large mixer bowl, place 1/4 cup of softened butter. Make sure it is softened. Beat it on high for about 2 to 3 minutes or until it is nice and fluffy. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the butter to the center of the bowl. Turn the mixer on low and gradually add in 1 cup of powdered swerve or powdered sweetener of your choice in small amounts. Make sure you just do this a little bit at a time and allow it to beat in after each addition until the entire 1 cup of powdered swerve has been added and combined. Once it has been completely added and combined, increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for another 30 seconds or until the filling is completely smooth. Scrape down the sides of the bowl again if needed and push the filling to the center of the bowl. Add a 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Then beat on medium once again for another 30 seconds or until the filling is fluffy. Scrape down the sides of the bowl once again and push all the filling to the center of the bowl. Then set it aside for just a second and we're going to take our cake out of the refrigerator. Once the cake is chilled for 15 minutes in the refrigerator, remove it from the refrigerator and use a round cookie cutter that's about 2.5 inches in diameter and cut about 8 circles into your cake. Now any extra cake that's around the edges, you can discard that if you want to, or what I usually do is I put it in a mason jar and I place it in my freezer, and the next time I make a cake or cupcakes, I just sprinkle it over the top of the cake or cupcakes. That's up to you if you want to do that. Once the cake is cut into circles, place about 1 tablespoon of the filling into the center of half of the circles, which is about 4 of them. Then take a plain cake and place the plain cake on top of the filling and very lightly press it together to seal it. Be very careful just to do this lightly. You don't want your cake to crumble, so very lightly just press it together enough to seal the cake and the cream together. Once the cakes are all made, place them back on your baking sheet and place them in the freezer for about 30 minutes or until they are firm. They're not going to be frozen. You're just wanting them to be very firm so that when you put the chocolate coating on them, they will not crumble. So freeze them for at least 30 minutes. Just before you're ready to remove your cakes from the freezer, place 1 cup of Keto chocolate chips in a shallow microwave-safe bowl and add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Microwave them on high in 15 to 20 second intervals or until the chocolate chips are completely melted. Make sure you use a fork and stir after each 15 to 20 second interval because you do not want the chocolate chips to burn. They can burn in your microwave. So make sure you stir them. It doesn't take very long at all. And once it is fully melted, make sure you use your fork, stir it all together so that the coconut oil and the chocolate is fully combined. Once the chocolate chips are melted and the coconut oil and chocolate is fully combined, set it aside for just 1 second. Remove your cakes from the freezer after they have set in the freezer for at least 30 minutes. Then place the cakes one at a time into the coating. And what I usually do is I usually take a spoon and spoon the coating over the top of the cakes and allow it to run down the sides. And if I need to, I'll take 2 forks and turn the cake over a couple times to make sure that the entire cake is completely coated with chocolate. When you do turn the cakes, make sure you turn them carefully because, again, you don't want them crumbling or coming apart or anything. They shouldn't because they should still be firm from the freezer, but again, just be careful. Once the cake is fully coated, take the 2 forks and remove the cake from the chocolate coating and place it onto a lined baking sheet. I just take the parchment paper that I used to bake the cake in and I turn it over and I use that. So that way I don't have to use another piece of parchment paper. But you can do that however you want. Just make sure you do line your baking sheet before you place the coated cakes on them. Place them in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes or until the chocolate is completely firm. When you touch the chocolate, it should not come off on your fingers. It should be completely firm. After the coating has firmed up, remove the cakes from the refrigerator. You can eat them immediately. Or one of the things that we used to do when I was a kid, when we used to get the traditional Hostess ding-dongs, we used to wrap them in aluminum foil and place them in the freezer for a good 30 to 45 minutes until they got really cold and they tasted really yummy like that. So that's just a little suggestion if you'd like to try that out. Otherwise, eat them as they are. If you do have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator for up to 5 days. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.